Okay, so data that we will be working with throughout this entire statistics quarter has two major data types. One of them being the numerical data. Or sometimes surfing on the web, you might see websites here and there are using the term quantitative data. The other type of data is they exist out there, but we probably do not realize their existence too oftenly. So the other type of data is categorical data. And many websites here and there might refer to the name qualitative data. Okay, so there are two major types. And so I'm going to give you a quick example of the two data types that we're looking at right here. Numerical data type or quantitative data type can be simply a list of numbers. For example, we have a list, a data with these values 1, 3, 6, 7, and 10. Doesn't have to be too big, it can just be a small list of data, but these are in its own, and you can see that the name numerical data is pretty much reflecting its own nature right there. This data contains the values being numerical values. Whereas looking over to qualitative data or categorical data, as a quick small example, now I'm pretty sure a lot of you have filled out some applications, for example a job application or a college admission application. Then somewhere in your application there must be a line that's asking for your input as being what gender you are. And so gender is the data, and the only two values that anyone can ever give is either being a male or a female. Okay, and so notice that the reason we are working with these data, and we do give some consideration to these types of data, because there are people who are looking for these, who are looking to work with these data. There are people that these data become valuable for them, and so these are, so gender, in the way I see, in the way in the way how we understand that in statistics, being a male and being a female, they are two being different values. They're two different categories in this data, gender. And then I am going to give a quick comparison chart between the two data types here. For numerical data, in numerical data we can actually put data in order. We can put data values in order. So for example, this is what I mean right here. say the data value 3 is less value than the data value 6 right here. And it makes completely perfect sense about this. It just shows that some value, some reading, some measurement is less value than the other one. So ordering is entirely possible and makes sense in numerical data. But on the other hand, for qualitative data or categorical data, think about the similar scenario. But can we put female being smaller than male? It makes completely no sense about this comparison. Female is less than male in which sense? Body size or brain size or weight or what? So in other words, my point of trying to say here is that categorical data does not have ordering. We cannot put data values in order. Another feature that's being a major difference here is that for numerical data, we can do mathematical operations. So, for example, or math ops is short for mathematical operations. We can add values, 3 plus 6. And that makes sense in numerical data, and it gives another reading, another value. We can subtract data value, indicating how far the two values different from each other. We can multiply, we can divide. But now think about these mathematical operations in categorical data. It makes no sense to do mathematical operations. For example, if you were going to do a male value plus a female value, or a male value subtract a female value, none of these really make sense. So in other words, for categorical data or qualitative data, any of these nature of data, putting the values in order, applying mathematical operations just simply do not exist in the world of categorical data. And then after having a brief understanding of what we will be doing, the two major types of data, here's the plan for the quarter. So as I was pointing out in a quick little examples, then you can see that numerical data has a lot more application, and we can do a lot more rather than doing categorical data. So here's how I work through this quarter right here. We will be starting out studying numerical data. So this is our starting point first. We first start out looking at studying numerical data. And then, as we're done some part of understanding about numerical data, at some point in a quarter later, we're going to turn our focus, our attention over to studying the categorical data. And then, but then keep in mind, we're only going to need to spend just a small amount of time to study what categorical data is and what we can do with that. And then at some point later in a quarter again, we're going to study those kind of problems, or we're going to study how to work with two data types together. And that's somewhere near the end of the quarter.